Hi everybody, Chris here from Truly Holistic. In this video, we're going to talk about a new kit that we've put together in regards to calling it the Electroculture Gardening Kit. Now, electroculture gardening is a big thing at the moment, and what I see as the core aspect of how it supports plant growth is through establishing and providing a vortex. Okay, now vortex is the geometry of flow. Okay, so flow is everything within session work with clients or their pets, right, or anybody that they're going to be working on. And you got to understand that at the core, plants are consciousness, just like at the core, I am consciousness. So the more we enable a facilitation of that person's energy, right, their consciousness, their expansion, then the more it can be represented here. And what does that mean? Growth, right, which we can connect to plant growth, evolution and ascension, okay? And a state, right, this is how important the precursor of how something will express itself, so communicate, behave, and function, which is the precursor, is the state that's provided, right? And when we enable a state of a flowing state, so for you and me would be a state of being, then we're enabling a state that allows flow. Flow is everything, right? We look at our DNA, and that, is a vortex, that in the middle of it is coding. That's what DNA is. So it's vortex, it's flow. Everything is dependent on flow at all levels of existence. So this got me really invested, obviously a new tensor technology and the products that we provide here at Truly Holistic supports the evolution, the growth of all consciousness, which of course plants are part of that. And everything else, that's why we create products and we encourage people to use these products, not only on them, their self to grow and evolve and to resolve health problems, but also on the beverages you're going to drink, on the food you're going to eat, which obviously part of that is plants, right? But in this aspect of the video, we're talking about creating an environment to allow the greatest potential of growth for plants, okay? So when I saw this electroculture stuff going on in regards to promoting growth, I thought, well, technology does that even better. I know it does it better. And obviously at Truly Holistic, we've evolved the technology where we're using tensor technology, but we're also using what I coin light technology, where we use crystal powders as an anchor, just like tensor ring or a qubit measure is an anchor to facilitate frequencies. So in this kit, you're going to get provided with something that uses tensor technology, but also light technology. So let's get into that now. So, first of all, using tensor technology is we've got this here, which we are calling a gateway facilitator. Why we call it a gateway facilitator? With you and me, our gateway, our doorway, which we could call a space bridge, is the heart, right? And why we call that a gateway? Because it's the doorway that facilitates more of ourself, more of our consciousness, our expansion, right? Which is going to enable us here to grow, evolve, and ascend, right? So this is what we want to promote in regards to electroculture gardening to the plants, right? Of course. So now you'll see it's in a spherical form made of 3 tensor rings, okay? And each ring is cut to a measurement, which we use the ascension cubit. Now, the ascension cubit is a measurement that connects that very substance or thing to its origin, its source, okay? The source of itself as a consciousness. So when we place this into a garden, into a greenhouse, into a raised garden bed, it's connecting everything within that space into its highest full potential, into its oneness, right? For it to grow, to evolve, to ascend. Okay? And that's really bound and connected to that universal law, multiversal law, that all consciousness must evolve. Okay, so the role this plays is you just place that in the ground or anywhere within that environment, right? Whether you've got to go in a greenhouse, where it's a garden bed, or just your garden, your vegetable garden. Okay, so it creates in a spherical form a sunshine effect over 360 degrees. Now the cool thing about this tool is you can also change its shape or formation, and I'll show you now. So you've got that in its spherical form, but you can also, let's just make sure I'm gonna, so you can collapse it down like this when you're not using it in electroculture, right? Like that, into a bracelet. Now this is a little bit small for my wrist, but for a child's wrist, that would be perfect, right? So you can have that in a collapse form like that, where it creates a column effect. Now, how it also works with plants is you can also put it into a formation, which is, I'm just gonna get it into that formation, of course, into that form, right, which is a triquetra geometry. Now it creates kind of like a cup, right, like that. And what you can do is place a pot plant within that space if you're wanting to work on a specific plant, right? You can shape and mold the rings a little bit, or you can place it on top, right? That creates that energetic effect on the plant, on a pot plant by itself. So you can change it and shape it to whatever you like. Okay, I'm just gonna put it back into its spherical form. So it's very easy to just change its shape, as you can see me doing here, right? Right, so you create it into a spherical form, okay? So that's that part of it. Now the other part that you get involved in the Electroculture Kit is these little gridding pyramids. And this is light technology. So in this one, you can see that we've got malachite crystal powder. That's why it's got a lovely green. And we have a lot of other crystal powders, such as, yeah, it varies. We've had amethyst, we've got rose quartz at the moment, we've got carnelian, which is an orange color, we've got red jasper, which is like a reddy brown color, we've got, what else have we got? Oh, lapis lazuli, which is blue. We've got shungite, which is black. We've got gold mica, which is a lovely gold color. So you get 4 of these, right, in a pack. So let's bring all 4 here, which allows you to grid your garden. Okay, so you place 1 of these in each corner, right, to grid that space, that area that you want gridded. And within that space, you're gridding that area to facilitate energetics that, again, bring in the source of the consciousness of everything that is within that space, including the plants, of course. Okay? So that's just another way that, a different way of doing it compared to using the spherical gateway facilitator. You can also use the gridding pyramids to grid an area, whether that's a greenhouse again, whether that's a raised garden bed, or just a backyard or a section of your property. Now, what we do here is, as I said earlier, we're using crystal powder instead of the tensor ring to be that physical anchor bringing through those energetics, right? More of the plant's consciousness, more of its authenticity, and everything that's within that space. So we anchor in the etheric templates, right? The origin, because we're bringing these frequencies that exist outside of this plane of reality, and we're bringing it into this plane. And where that originates is what we call etheric template, and I can anchor those etheric templates into the physical anchor, and the physical anchor in this is the crystal powder that's within the pyramid. So there you have it. You got these 4 little gridding pyramids that you get to anchor an area, right, or to grid an area to enable that plant growth to be at its highest potential. And you also get a lovely gateway facilitator, which, as I say, you can collapse in a form like that. You can also put it into a triquetra, which I've done there, right, which is like a cup. Or you can obviously put it in its spherical form, which I would, if it was me, I would put it in a spherical form. I've personally got a greenhouse, and that's how I do it in my greenhouse. I put it in its spherical form, and it gives me a 360-degree effect, as you can see there. You can also, if you're really into intention, all right, Dr. Emoto's work with water, right? He wrote or used intention work, right? Which that's all frequency, of course. So what you can do with the spherical form, you can also voice your intention into it, and it's going to expand at 360 degrees, to have that effect on the plant. You know, that might be love, that might be ascend, that might be to grow, that might be to levitate or levitation, which we're finding is, key is the word ascend is to levitate, right? So we're finding that a lot of these evolving ascending properties is more to do with levitation than it is with gravity. It might be just to, whatever you want to use as an intention. You can either place an intention note within the sphere and then place it within the space, or you can verbally place that intention into it or expand that out, right? So it can be used as a broadcasting tool. Okay, so that's what you get within the Electroculture Gardening Kit. And as I say, these tools, tensor tools, light tools, are all about evolving, ascending, everything that is bound to consciousness, and everything at its core is consciousness, which includes plants. So I hope you really enjoyed this video. If you're interested in buying the Electroculture Gardening Kit, go to my website, my product store, which is at trulyholistic.net/products/. That's TRULYHOLISTIC.net, so net/products/PRODUCTS/. And you will see them there right at the top because they are the newest product that we provided, or kit. Please remember to like this video, subscribe to this channel if you really enjoyed this video and would like to learn more. Until next time, catch you later.